Okay, I'd like to call the Richmond Exempted Village School District Board of Education meeting back into session. And the first item is the approval of the agenda. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call.
All right, Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mrs. Story?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmer?
Yes. All right, and next up, the best part of the agenda.
Hey, now, sorry to steal my line. Right, it is the best part of the agenda. It's time for recognition and awards. Just a brief moment to recognize some of the great staff members and students that we have here. We had a double dose tonight. First of all, we have Mr. Larry Kozlowski from our secondary campus to recognize Mr. Emmett Boswell. Mr. Kozlowski.
Well, being new to the middle school, when we came up, we decided that we should survey kind of our teachers and get the feel for it. This young man, Emmett, was overwhelmingly the choice of our staff to represent our school and get our award. This was written by, I would say, an anonymous teacher. Emmett Boswell, a 7th grader this year, stands out as a leading line through his quiet confidence, kindness, and respect for both his teachers and his peers. His pride in his family's small local farm and their mission to support a vibrant food system is evident in every conversation. Emmett's compassion and sense of community shine through his active participation in school and sports. By embodying his family's values and dedicating himself to the New Richmond community, Emmett is making a positive impact each day. We look forward to seeing the future this leading line creates for himself. I had the opportunity to sit down with him and meet him, and it just confirmed everything that this teacher put in this brief little statement. And from what I understand, the whole family deserves the leading line for what they do for our community. Emmett Boswell, our leading line in the 6 through 12 campus. Come on up.
I said it was passionate too. I think it was in it. Those were amazing words. That's fantastic. Wow, I'd like to know who that teacher was. That is just so great. Thank you so much.
Yep.
I appreciate your leadership. And if it's okay, if you would like to take a picture of you, if you'll have your family come up and join us, as Mr. Kozlowski said, they should be his leading lines also.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kozlowski. You're welcome. Very nice. Very nice. All right, Jamie. That's a high bar now. All right.
Good thing I have 2 awards.
You're right. You're right.
All right, so if you have not already heard, I'm excited to share some wonderful news with you tonight. And thanks to the hard work of our first grade teacher, Mr. Stock, and his collaboration with the Ohio STEM Learning Network, Monroe Elementary has been awarded a $5,000 grant to launch an exciting new project that we are calling STEMscapes. This project will provide opportunities for all of our students from pre-K through 5th grade to engage in hands-on creative learning experiences. With STEMscapes, our students will explore the world of STEM through 16 raised garden beds, 12 Makerzoid robots, an outdoor robotics coding deck, and various hands-on building materials located in innovation stations throughout the building. Each aspect of this project was designed to foster critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity, skills that are essential for growth and success now and in the future. None of this would have been possible without the vision, dedication, and hard work of Mr. Stock. His passion for creating innovation and learning opportunities for our students has made this incredible project a reality. We are all excited to watch our students thrive and grow with these new STEM opportunities, and we are so fortunate to have leaders like Mr. Stock who are committed to making our school a place of innovation and inspiration. So it's with much gratitude that I present a Leading Line Award to Mr. Zach Stock.
So, Mr. This is for your 5th grade class, your 4th grade class?
First grade.
Oh,
For
first grade.
everybody.
Oh.
Everybody. It's for everybody.
We're teaching STEM at 1st grade.
Even at pre-K.
Even at pre-K, that's right. I have very high regard for you as a teacher, and I appreciate your leadership as well. So, would you also go forward? Can we take a picture with you?
Of course. Three, two, one. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so
Keep pulling it. Keep pulling it.
Jamie, just give us the high sign. When you give us the high sign when you're ready.
They're running.
Oh, they're running, yeah, well. There you go. Hey, there we go. How much time is it going to clap for?
Okay, so now that Mom's here. Alright, so it is my privilege to recognize 3 outstanding students from Monroe Elementary School, and these students have been described by their teachers as not only hardworking and helpful, but also some of the kindest and most positive role models they have ever had the pleasure of working with. And as we talked about STEMscapes and raised garden beds, as we all know, the beginning of a school year is a lot like planting seeds in a garden. These students have started the year by planting seeds of kindness, perseverance, and leadership. Through their positive actions and incredible effort, they have shown all of us what it means to contribute to a strong and supportive school community. They remind us, even at their young age and new start to our school building, that academic success is important, but equally as important is the character we display each day. By helping others, showing kindness, and working hard, these students have set an example that inspires not only their classmates, but all of us as well. It is with great pride that I present this award to Gia Maloney, Mila Egan, and Colton Palmer for their exemplary character and dedication to making our school a better place. So congratulations to all of you, and please keep up the amazing work as you continue to grow and inspire others. All the kiddos come up and see.
My goodness.
Good job, guys.
Can we take a picture with you all? Congratulations. Thank you so much for being great kids. Thank you for being great kids. Wow.
And if the parents would like to join us too, that would be great.
It's a family award. There we go. There. You guys get right up front. Right up front. You're the star of the show. Come Can you get us on guard?
Yeah, that's a healthy couple. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
But you got one more time.
One more.
Right here, you got one more.
And you don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting.
Right. You can go celebrate, you can go have a happy meal at McDonald's, or stay.
Look at that. That is so cool. That's an award. Let's make our way out. Let's go. Oh,
Okay, everybody else back there staying?
Kids are laughing.
All right, superintendent's report.
So as we tried to promote the public side, after coming off a really very, very good report card from the state of Ohio last month, we found out a few weeks ago, as we again tried to put out, that niche rankings, they're a leader nationwide in ranking school systems. In my previous stops along the way, districts put a lot of weight into this, and it means something. Giving a good kids and good education impacts everything, from quality of life to home values and so forth. So we were very pleased to be named out of all the districts in Southwest Ohio, Southeast Indiana, and Northern Kentucky. Dozens, if not hundreds of districts. I don't know how many. New Richmond is ranked number 20 on that list. So very happy, very proud of that. It's hard work of everybody. Our certified staff, our classified staff, our exempt employees. I mean, it just every last person here. From the bus driver to drop them off, to the great education getting the ability to they eat in the cafeteria, to taking them home safely at night. This is a team award, so number 20. So very happy about that. And when you put Mr. Wells on notice, Milford is in our sights. So I highly anticipate taking like the Roadrunner, taking them over next year. That's what I say. So it's very good. I'm very, very, very proud of our staff. The next thing I want to talk about, it should be a total 0, but I want to make sure there's enough information out there. A recent piece of legislation was passed, Senate Bill 29. A lot of backstory to it, really not important for these purposes. It's about to become law this Thursday, October 24th. What it does is it requires every district in Ohio, except for privates and exempts and charters, requires every public school system in Ohio to notify their parents, their community, that we school systems have the ability to access their kids' content on their one-to-one devices. We all do. We absolutely do. Every district in Ohio does that. So we're notified of that. That's step 1 of this. So on Thursday, Mr. Shanklin is going to put out, it's going to look like this, and we'll put a new original logo on there, but if it looks like a lot of legalese, it's because it's a lot of legalese. It was written by attorneys. That's how attorneys write. It's letting parents know that if we need to, we'll access your kid's device. No surprise to anybody, happening all over. So that email is going to go out on Thursday. If there's a need to get into a kid's information, more than just typical, as the law is written, it's flawed, and it's going to change. We've been assured it is going to change. School system, there's over 600 school systems in Ohio. Every school system, every day, is in every kid's database, many times a day. For attendance, for discipline, for grades, for our online resources we purchase, for our curriculum, the list goes on, it goes on and on. By law, school districts are supposed to notify parents every time we're in a kid's database. That is nothing short of ridiculous. So parents would be getting emails 10, 12, 15 times a day, ding, 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 we're in your device. As I heard our lawyers explain, that was not the intent of the law. The intent of the law is for what we use it for. It won't change how New Richmond does business at all. For example, we have a program we use called Secure. If a kid on their keystrokes types in one of the trigger words, murder, suicide, drugs, guns, it sends a trigger out, the administration knows right away. But let's say maybe we have a class at our high school called horror literature. And let's say that teacher was going to give an assignment and some of the kids wrote on machete-wielding knife murders. Okay? That's going to trigger, right? Like sirens and red lights flashing in the main office. But in reality, it's like, okay, this is an assignment, you're good. The intent is for those kids who are dabbling in something they shouldn't be in to notify those parents. That's going to be our interpretation of that. I think that's what our parents want us to do, and that's going to be the process that we use. It starts this Thursday, just the notification. Nothing's going to change for us. It's sent by law. We're going to send this notification out. We're going to do it annually in August. We'll send out another reminder. Here's what we do. Here's the programs that we use. So no one is necessarily caught by surprise. It's Senate Bill 29. I do anticipate some different iterations coming out, but it's the law right now today, as we sit here. So hopefully that made a little bit of sense, some background on that. And I like to usually bring up three things at these superintendent updates. So a few weeks ago, we had an incident at our high school, which required the response of some first responders. I want to emphasize if we can help spread, everybody here that's in this room, everybody that's listening to me, this is the first time you've listened to us and are watching our board meetings. We live in a time where people want to know, we're an on-demand society. I want this right now. And so when this incident happened, it's not possible. It is something happened in 10 seconds later putting out an email. We need to, first of all, take care of the situation, take care of our students, take care of our staff. Once we have all the information, we'll put information out. Here's what as best as what we can share. It's frustrating if people who really don't know anything about the situation begin to comment on social media. And then there becomes this layered effect, and this person and all the grievances that somebody's had against in the Richmond schools the past 28 years is all coming here. And so now it's what I call wasted bandwidth. We're dealing with the initial situation plus all the incorrect information that's out there. It's very, very frustrating. I would just ask people, take a pause. There's pretty much nothing that we would come across that myself or Dr. Jill or John or the administrators, we haven't seen before. We're not going to get rattled, we'll take care of it. Sometimes when those things happen, a lot of things are happening at the same time. There is, and you just got to peel apart and work on it. She probably doesn't want me to say this, but Dr. Humworth said, and what's most unfortunate is kids make bad decisions. That's why we have attendance. That's why we have discipline codes. That's why we have a handbook. It's rules. We're raising kids, but we're not raising angels, right? We've all done it. So a kid makes a bad decision. And whatever, if from zero to somewhere on the continuum, they made a bad decision. And so we're seeing them at their very worst moment. And then how mortifying is it for those parents that your kid, yes, they made a bad decision. Now all of social media is saying these things about this kid, but it's not accurate. It's not good. It's not helpful. It's frustrating. And I would just take this time to ask people, go breathe some fresh air. We'll get you the information you need, but we need just a little bit of time to sort things out sometimes. So I'm sure I made some enemies tonight. It needed to be said. That's very frustrating. Mr. Zimmerman, that's the extent of my supervision report. If you want me to stay, I'll stay. If you want me to leave, I'll leave.
All right. Okay. Thank you. We'll let you stay.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Public participation. Do we have any? Okay. All right. Committee reports. Grant.
Just one report from Grant. Covering two meetings. We had a meeting on September the 19th. We had presentations from 4 of our students who participated in national competitions over the course of the summer. Did very well in those competitions. I did not mark down the places that they got, but did very well in the competitions. Those competitions were held in Houston, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and Seattle. So nice representation from Grant. Discussed the 23-24 financial statement audit that's being conducted, and it's being done by BHM CPA Group, which is an independent public accounting firm, contract to the State of Ohio Auditor's Office. That audit will be issued on 12/31/24. I think I heard somebody say schools are the most yeah, so there you go. Student enrollment is at 506 for September. Reported. We're also part of the Brown and Claremont Adult Career Campus up in Georgetown, and we completed fiscal year 24 in the black for the first time. It's the first time it's happened. We're a partnership with Southern Hills Vocational School also as part of that, and the two were feeding dollars into that adult education to keep it going, and now. It's finally sustained itself to where it's actually a money maker now. So we're in the black. So first time it's happened in several years. So we're continuing to add more programs that are contributing to the success of that. One of them being they're getting ready to start a paramedic program up there now. So we just started a nurses program, and again, it's adult education type stuff. Good stuff. Discussed the launching of satellite programs at New Richmond and Bethel Tate, and attendance for those. And then on the 20th, the next day, we had a facilities expansion groundbreaking event. That was held at Grant for the new expansion we're putting in up there. That was the extent of that meeting for the most part. Then the 17th is past Tuesday. We have presentations by a bunch of the students. The grant, talk about the grant give back and the success of that. It was a huge success. Had over 300 plus students participated in the events. There was 28 different projects they did. 19 of the projects were in Bethel, 2 in Felicity, 2 in New Richmond, 2 at Williamsburg, 1 in Amelia, and then 2 at Grant on site. Those projects were funded by different people that gave money. We had over $11,000 donations from corporate type donations that funded projects, $11,000 worth of projects there. And then we also had teachers, some of the teachers of the Innovation Fund purchases. Each year the budget allows for up to a certain amount of money to be funded for innovation type projects. Some of those might be, they start a vet clinic in vet science, and they do 40 patients a day. When they do this, and they do it every so often, they'll open up a clinic and you make appointments, and they've got the next 2 or 3 of them already booked up. So pretty interesting. It's going, and of course the clinic gives them all the immunizations, shots, everything they need for that, and checkups, and they at a cut price. So works out pretty good, and gives the students real time, real opportunities to work on real live patients. So works out pretty good for them. There's some other ones. They did a snap-on presentation about precision measurement tools that they are teaching these kids now, how to use micrometers and things like that. It's pretty interesting stuff, and it's stuff that these, when they get in the real work world, they'll use these things. They've got some facility dogs that they brought on board. That was some of the fund used to purchase these facility dogs to help these kids with have special needs and stuff. It helps them a lot. And they said it's really made an improvement in their lives. And then last thing we talked about was hydroponic greenhouse that they put in place. They were harvesting the lettuce that they grew this year and using it in the culinary division. So worked out pretty good for them. Some of the other stuff we had, talked about the treasury consent agenda, financial reports. Let's see, student enrollment dropped down a couple. We were 504, and then we had some human resource items we had to go through, and then also a superintendent's contract that we had to review and approve. Our next board meeting is November the 21st. So that's it for Grant. If you have any questions, let me know.
You exceeded your 3 minutes.
Sorry.
All right, OTES handbook.
Mr. Fry?
This is the third iteration of the New Richmond Teacher Evaluation Handbook, and it is comprised of a leadership group of 4 teachers: Tina Griffin, Nicole Parker, Meredith Zimmerman, and Marianne Dalton, and 4 administrators: Joe Stewart, Dr. Jamie Coons, Dr. Jill Hollingsworth, and myself. This particular iteration allowed us to go through the handbook and eliminate things that had been burdening us in the past. Things like high quality student data. When we started the handbook, it wasn't clearly defined and couldn't be used in the evaluation process. And in 20 through 22, we weren't allowed to use any high quality student data results to evaluate teachers. So we took the opportunity to clean all of that out of of the handbook, clean it up really nicely. We made what I think are three significant changes on page 16 of Appendix 1. We've really tightened and defined the timeline for the evaluation process. Pre-conference, observation, post-conference should all occur within 4 days. And that's between the evaluator and the administrator, and the teacher. And we built into that some recourse language if the teacher and evaluator are not able to come to terms with honoring that timeline. Things do happen in a school day. Teachers are sick, fights occur, things get in the way of parts of the evaluation process. Typically, those are all resolvable at the building level. But we wanted to build in some language to allow some recourse for teachers, and we did so, and it involves the leadership of the evaluation committee to resolve it if it's unresolvable at the building level. And finally, on page 35 in the handbook, the last line was added. Keep going, boss. One more. And go up one. Sorry. There you go. It essentially says that in order for a teacher to file a grievance, they first have to go through the process of corrective action that's defined and spelled out in the handbook. You can't just jump to grievance. You can exhaust the energy and exhaust the timelines for correction. If you're not satisfied at that point in time, then it could be grounds for filing a grievance. But we want to make sure that was in the handbook. We have total agreement among the leadership of the committee, so everybody's on board with that, and I recommend that you consider that as an approval item.
Anything to add?
Good.
All right, it's recommended the Board of Education adopt the OPED's handbook as presented. So moved. Mr. Dufault with the motion. Second. Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Story?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Dufault?
Yes.
Okay, contract with BSWC.
Also presented by Mr. Fry. This deals with the company we're in contract with, hopefully with the health place forward.
I am I'm pleased to present to you, you have received the contract for design work of the $711,000 Ohio Facilities Construction Commission grant, and that would be awarded to BSWC, who will initiate the design planning for the implementation of the grant. You'll recall that the Facilities Committee, 11 members of the Facilities Committee met in September, reviewed the submittals, and recommended that BSWC be awarded that contract. The OFCC contract is a boilerplate contract. $711,000 grant is much like every other grant that we receive. It's an award, we spend, we reimburse, and we build the project. In Appendix 2 of the original contract that was signed back in July 30, 2024, defines the project. It defines the refresh of the high school office and guidance offices and the location of the clinic at the Richmond Middle School. There are 3 public meetings of the local facilities committee where the Appalachian Innovative Center grant will be the topic of those meetings. That's October 28th, November 13th, and December 2nd. All of those meetings occur at 4 p.m. Where? In the planning room next door. Okay, that's my presentation. Our legal counsel has reviewed thoroughly the contract, and as I said, it's an OFCC boilerplate contract. We put in ours, they put in theirs. They actually came in under the budget, what they had originally expected in their initial budget sheet. So I'm pleased with it. I'm real pleased with it. So it's yours for your consideration.
It is recommended the Board of Education approve the contract with VSWC as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Follow discussion.
Usually with a grant, how long does it usually take for the state to reimburse? 6 months, a year,
No.
2 weeks?
No, for example, our title grants, we usually get those payments within a few weeks after we submit for reimbursement. I'm not sure about this one, of course. They're usually pretty efficient.
We file quarterly reports. We file an initial quarterly report at the end of the third quarter. We'll continue to do that. Matt and I will collaborate. Haven't spent anything, but we're required to file the reports, and those reports are the basis of reimbursement.
And again, just to reemphasize with the community, the facilities committee meetings are at 4 p.m. on October 28th, November 13th, and December 2nd, right?
Correct.
And it's a chance for the community to come. It's an open meeting, public meeting. It's noticed. It's been public noticed. A chance to see what's going on, give your input, and all those things that we heard from everybody initially when we were considering this opportunity. And then also, I asked Mr. Miller to have Garth record that, just so we have captured that, and so everybody can be informed and understand what's going on there. I think a lot of us agree that it's going to be a great thing, and let's get everybody hearing about it, seeing it, and learning about it as we go through this. Any other thoughts? Any other comments? Okay, roll call.
Mr. DePaul?
Yes.
Mrs. Story?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmer?
Yes. All right. Second reading and adoption of policy.
A lot of times I pretend like there's people watching for the first time, so briefly just an overview. There's a lot of policies here, a couple dozen. The very first attachment is a brief summary of all of the proposed changes. If you want to look through that, you have actually nothing to do at night. And then, if you open up any random policy, let's take that one. Anything in green is new language. If it's in pink is strike through. It's very simple. Most of these are very, very minor cleanup. Just as a refresher, 41-2008 now requires all coaches and volunteers of athletic events to be cardiac and mental health trained. That's already incorporated into our litany of things we ask them to do. 5310, what started at is as a state mandate last year, which they partially funded to provide feminine hygiene products. It's now still law without the funding, but we're obviously still going to continue to do that. Just because it makes me laugh. 5330 says kids are allowed to use sunscreen. That's awesome. 7440, again, I hit it hard last time, I hit it hard again today. You can't circumvent our safety procedures, students or staff. And I say it's the propping open of the doors. It's subject to student discipline or staff discipline. Nobody wants to do that. And especially if you the one that propped the door open and something really bad happened. So you just can't prop open doors. And 9160, that if you come to an event that charges an admission, an athletic event, a player stuff, there has to be a cash line. There always has to be credit card, yeah, there always has to be a cash line. So those are the highlights, quote unquote, of our policy sector.
Okay, upon second reading, it is recommended the Board of Education adopt the policies.
So moved.
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Wells. Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
All right, Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmer?
Yes.
Mrs. Story?
Yes.
Mr. DePaul?
Yes.
All right, human resource items.
So kids get their sunscreen out. That's awesome.
We have to purchase that.
Right. They'll provide it first and then they'll hold right. Well played. Our consent items of the agenda is the resignation of parapros. Sorry to see them leave. We love our parapros. We have an unpaid leave and then a rehiring of a long-term sub as we work through some certification issues. A couple of classified employees. And I want to pause for a second on employee revision. So our wonderful director of communications, Garth Shanklin, he's probably shooting darts at my back right now. He would prefer that I would not say this. He works 30, he's part-time, he was part-time, he was 30 hours a week, far exceeds that. Sometimes you hire, you really catch lightning in a bottle. Like recently, I look at Dr. Jill, just lightning in a bottle. Matt is Roll's treasurer. Garth, Cos, Joe Stewart, just really great people, are great for our organization. Garth's one of those people. His heavy lift with the website and Apogee would not have happened without his work, and also with our tech director, Ben Grayson. And it's fantastic. We have an app now. We're posting things on Thrillshare. So I'm asking that he go. It's a slight increase from 30 hours to 40 hours, so he can make an honest man of being full time. So that's the reason behind that. Some subs. Miss Gabby Kellum is going to be the winter assistant athletic director. And our supplemental contracts begin to wind down fall and enter into winter. Anything in red is a new hire. Black has already been previously board approved. One more change worth noting, because it really impacted our classified staff, and it appears here, our site managers before were paid hourly at $20 an hour for a typical 3-hour shift. But what do? It's 2.5 hours, 2:45. It's messy. If you're classified, it kicks you over to overtime. We use the same language as we have for gate workers as we do for a site manager. The site manager will supervise the gate worker. And you may have 2-3 events going on. You may have volleyball going on. You may have the middle school going on. You have a high school site. You can have 3 events going on. The site manager will help supervise that, so they get $60 a day per event. That's typically a 3-hour shift. So really no change in the money for this per se. It's cleaner, help our treasurer's office up, and it just makes sense. So that's what that is. And some volunteers. I'm sorry, science reading and reimbursement, and a couple of volunteers who would like to come work with our schools in some capacity. So those are the consent items, Mr. Chairman.
It is recommended that the Board of Education approve items 11A through 11J.
So moved.
Story, motion, Mr. Default, second. Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Default?
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes. Treasurer's report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Zimmerman. Item A is approval of our curriculum instruction committee meeting minutes. Item B is the policy committee meeting minutes approval. And item C is our regular board meeting minutes from September. Item D, approval of financial reports. Thank you. We just completed the first quarter of the fiscal year in September. There's a little bit to talk about. It's still early on, so revenues kind of all over the place. We did get our first half of our general property tax payment, $5.1 million. It's always good to see that come in. State foundations come in, rolling in as normal. So the revenue had a whole lot to report. On the expenditure side, you could scroll down. So outflows, these are our expenditures. Top 3 lines, personnel services, retirement, and purchase services are the ones to look at. And our percentages. So we want to be around 25%. On personnel, we're around 25, what we estimated. On purchase services, we're 24.31. So we're good there. Retirement, we're 28.27. There's good reason for that. We pay our benefits every month, typically. It's about $300,000 for employee benefits. And we were, for our June payment, we didn't pay until like the first week of July. And when we did that, it crossed over to the new fiscal year, so things were way over our budget already, but we're not. What happened is for last fiscal year, we were a little bit under our benefits and we didn't make that payment, so we're doing well. And we had a $500,000 transfer over to BI. So all in all, if you look at the subtotal expenditures of $7.8 million for the $600,000. If you multiply that by 4, 6, 12, 18, 24, you know, that's looking good. It's on a good trajectory. We've made some reductions in our expenditures this year. We're seeing that already. We forecasted around a $4 million deficit this year, budget deficit spending. That cashed out for about 2.43, and the 500,000 went out to so hopefully we can continue to improve that. Anyway, trending in the right direction. It's something to report. It's positive. So that's our financial report for September, the first quarter. Item E is acceptance of donations, which we always appreciate doing it. F is confirming purchase orders. These are confirming purchase orders that had to happen. So there's some that don't have to happen, there's some that do have to happen. Some of these are, one of these is for we didn't get grant money funds in the allocation report until a little late, but we had to have provide services to the students. Same with transportation. So until we get those grant monies locked in and ready to spend, we can get purchase order funds. So those are confirming, those need to happen. And then the Midwest Florida store was just a continuation of the bathroom remodeling projects that are occurring in this building. Item G is our appropriations resolution for the 12 certificate. The change here is for the grant funds. So the grant funds are now the appropriation resolution, this $111,000. And that is all I have for the treasury.
Okay, it is recommended the Board of Education approve items 12A through item 12G.
So moved.
Mr. Wells with the motion.
Second.
Ms. Story with the second. Any discussion? Yes, roll call.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mrs. Story?
Yes.
Mr. Duval?
Yes. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a board agenda item, and as the community knows and understands, Mr. Miller is going to retire at the end of this year. So as part of that process, we are putting forth the resolution to appoint an interim superintendent, and she's here over here, Ms. Hollingsworth. She's going to be talking to us later as well. But that's what the first step in this process is the resolution to appoint an interim superintendent, which is there for everybody to see. And so we'll start with the motion. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the resolution as presented.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Okay.
We're glad to have her filling in this interim role.
Yes. All right, roll call.
Mr. Duval?
Yes.
Mrs. Story?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes. So then after that, the next step in the process is to update the employment contract for Mrs. Hollingsworth.
Doctor.
Sorry. She doesn't always lead with that. She's a humble person. So with that, we'll go ahead and put forth the contract. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the interim superintendent contract with Dr. Jill Hollingsworth as presented.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Wells.
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Story. Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mrs. Story?
Yes.
Mr. Duval?
Yes.
Okay, and then the last thing, just to make it a crystal clear process for the community, for the permanent superintendent, we are gonna contract, as we did with Mr. Miller's hire, what was that, 6 years ago? 6 years ago. We're gonna contract with the OSBA to do a superintendent search after the first of the year. This gives us a chance to kind of look at look at everybody and give everybody an opportunity to apply. And it's going to be very much the same as it was with Mr. Miller for those that were involved in the process, and an open process, chance for community members to get involved, and they're going to lead us through that process as we go into next year. So that's what that is all about, and why we are looking at this agreement to go forth on that process. So it is is recommended the Board of Education approve the contract with OSBA for superintendent search services as presented. Right, Mr. Dufault?
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Wells with the second this time. Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Story?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Dufault?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes. All right, academic report. There she is.
Dr. Jill.
Dr. Jill.
Good evening. So on our academic report, I am asking for approval and second reading for 2 novels that we brought forth last month. One is The Final Girl Support Group, and the first is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, both novels for our horror and literature and advanced horror and literature courses at the high school.
Okay, it is recommended the Board of Education adopt said novels.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Wells. Second, Mr. Dufault. Any discussion?
I hope they make a movie of The Final Girl Support. It's a good book.
All right.
I don't read much either.
You have to give us a full report.
Well,
All right, roll call.
All right, Mr. Dufault?
Yes.
Mrs. Story?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
yes.
Okay, communications.
Bear with me, I forgot to blow up the font size on this before I printed it off, so this is going to be a
Need some readers?
So behind you right now is what the athletic website will look like. It is for the most part.
I'm sorry. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is for the most part live right now. That URL that you see will take you to the website. It's not linked anywhere yet because there's still some photos and links that I'm missing. That right there is the homepage. It has the same features that our current homepages do for all of our buildings, the giant photos, the buttons that take you to the OHSAA links, things like that. Each sport is broken down at the top by their season. There's the fall sports with a list of those. I'm going to move cheerleading between fall and winter depending on what time of year we're in. And then spring sports will be on the far right there. The last set of links at the top of that bar has things like the facilities page. Oh, sorry. This is what a sample page is. No, this is okay. I just forgot what order I put the photos in. This is a sample page of the team page. So this is what the cross-country team page would look like with all their links. Here's the volleyball one. It looks slightly different because of the schedule on the right-hand side. Those links are below that. So all of the pages for all of the teams will look roughly like this with their photos for all the JV teams, the varsity teams, the freshmen, things like that. There's the important link section. At the top is at the handbook, the athletics facilities page, the Roar on the River MP3. I made sure we moved that over. This facilities page is new. It was not on the old website, but I had so many people trying to find volleyball games in this building. So we have made this to help people figure out where they're supposed to be playing. It also still has the drone flyover facilities video down at the bottom. The Athletic Hall of Fame page also got a refresh. This is what it looks like at the top part of it with the links on the right, the video from last year's ceremony, and a much cleaner way to find the inductees by year at the bottom of the page. Speaking of the inductees, I actually talked to Doug today. If you have someone you'd like to nominate, you just take those nominations now, and you would like them by the 16th of November. Yes. So for the rest of this, we'll have some photos from the cross-country meet, and I believe the football game against Batavia playing, as I talk a little bit more about the fall sports teams that are wrapping up. Football has their regular season finale against Clinton Massey on Friday. They've clinched a playoff spot, but the seed is still up in the air. They could be anywhere from the 4 seed to the 15 seed, depending on what happens Friday night. Dylan Wolf is third in the SBAC in rushing yards with 600, and Caden Colwell leads the league with 5 interceptions. Both boys and girls soccer seasons have come to an end. Sebastian Barnes are in second season.
Well,
Oh, I didn't miss it. I took a picture. I know it was there.
What's that guy? You look like a senior in
Everyone's
high
had a
school.
heart attack.
I don't know. I get it.
Keep going.
Sebastian Barnes earned second team in soccer after tallying 8 assists. Eli Stark was an honorable mention. Our girls team, Addison Gold and Harley Mason, both were first team all-conference players. Naomi Hess and Molly Schuster were second team honorees. Shayla Bailey is an honorable mention. Volleyball, the Lady Lions are still alive in the volleyball tournament. They are 17-6 overall, undefeated in the league, their 4th straight league championship. Piper Willis was the player of the year. Coach Davis was the coach of the year. Willis, Lee Fight, Ella Hayden, and Mia Kreitz were all first-team performers. Leah Riley and Ellie Walden were second-team. They play Ross at Loveland tomorrow in the second round of the district tournament. It's a 5 o'clock game. We have 2 cross-country runners competing at the regional meet this weekend. Riley Davis and Ben Nikoloff both advanced to regionals. Davis won the SBAC American title the weekend before. Nikoloff was second in the districts last week. He took 7th, and Davis took 3rd in the district meet. And finally, our fall plays are coming up at the middle school and at the high school. The middle school is performing SpongeBob SquarePants musical. I'm very excited about that. When it was in Cincinnati, I'm going to go again. It's November 15th and 16th. The high school has Clue on stage the first weekend of November. 2 shows on the Saturday the 2nd and 1 on the 3rd. Tickets on sale online or at the gate. Some of these pictures here are from the football game. This is when we honored our first responders.
That was a huge turnout.
It was very hard to get all of them in one picture. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Really appreciate your work on the website. We have joined the 21st century. It's nice. You did a nice job. Thank you.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn anywhere in the house?
Mr. Wells wants to.
So good.
Mr. Wells,
I'll second.
second, Mr. Roll call.
Keep it ball.
Yes.
Mrs. Story.
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes.
Mr. Wells.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.